Hi, Tanika. How are you,
Hey
girl?
girl, I am doing good, girl. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. As you can see, I got a new little hairstyle
I
out here.
know.
And
I
it feels
love
good when
it.
like you did your own hair or like when you did something that you're proud of. And so that's how
Mhm.
I'm feeling really good right
It's
now.
so cute. It's so
Thank you.
cute.
It's giving crown,
I was
So
just thinking that. I was just thinking
yeah.
that. It is. I love
Oh, I
it.
love that. And what's really cool about this is that we're in week 2, which is strengthening your body, reclaiming power over your body. And I love my body. And
Okay.
so, and then like, I don't know, your body is your only vehicle. So it's kind of cool that we get to talk about this today, give different our perspectives on our
Mhm.
body, what it means to take care of our body physically, as well as tips and tools to like, just get our bodies together on
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah, so let me go to
Yeah.
my little notes that I wrote. Okay. So yeah, it also includes how stress lives in our body, how it shows up, and most importantly, how we can release stress out of our body. We know that stress does sit in our body. Our body is a storehouse for stress. And so really using tips, tools, exercises to release that stress out of our
Mhm.
body, because it just doesn't live in our minds. Like when we think about us worrying about the things that we have to do, whether we're aware of it or not, it lands in our body.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
So, I always like to say our fascia, our cells, like deep within our body, even if it's not what surface level. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about what did I say? Movement as medicine, okay? Because we love movement as medicine versus having to take medicine. It's like that preventative
Mhm.
side of it. How we can reconnect with our body, reclaim our power, be present within our body, and understand what peace means in our bodies. Because to be honest, true freedom is or to understand and to know your body. You only get one.
That's it.
So you
That's
are
it.
an expert at bodily things as well. And so I'm excited to
Yeah.
hear from you and all of your genius, and then also the things that I've been studying as well. All right. Ooh, that's good. But first, as always, dun, 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 we're going to ground ourselves. We need to show
For
our
sure.
bodies where we are in time and space. And so we'll do that. And I want to introduce you to one of my favorite practices, which is alternate nostril breathing. Have you done alternate nostril breathing?
Once, like years ago.
Years
So,
ago. Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's a practice to help like harmonize your body, left and right hemispheres. And also what's really cool is that usually you're only breathing through both nostrils, right? Daily, you're just like so when we do alternate nostril breathing, it gives us a moment to really breathe through each nostril. Now, I
Mm,
did blow my nose before this because sometimes, the allergies and all the ick gets in
yes.
there, but we're going to do it. And for those who are watching also, please, by all means, do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get settled into our seat, just making sure that we're cozy and comfortable, maybe relaxing your shoulders, allowing your shoulders to draw heavy into the ground, and just simply be in tune with where you are. Maybe you're identifying the touch points of your bottom on the chair, your feet on the ground, letting your arms just relax and simply tune into your breath here. So we're just tuning in. Maybe you close your eyes for a deeper connection to that breath. And together we'll take 3 breaths before we start our alternate nostril breathing. So here we are, breath 1, inhaling in deeply and exhaling completely. Almost like you're blowing out a birthday candle. Inhaling in your favorite flower and exhaling out. Last one, best one. Deep breath in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Now, maybe you want to open your eyes or you can keep them closed. I'm going to take off my beautiful glasses so we can get started with our alternate nostril breathing. Bringing your right thumb on your right nostril, covering your right nostril. Inhale through your left nostril here. Covering your left nostril with your ring finger, opening your right, exhale through your right. Inhale, right nostril. Covering your right, exhaling through your left. Inhale, left nostril. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhaling, left. Inhale, left nostril, this third round. Exhaling, right. Inhale, right nostril. Exhaling, left. 2 more rounds. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Last full round here. Deep breath in through your left. Exhale, right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Big, strong breath. Exhaling, left. Bringing both palms facing up. Let's do some extended hold. So deep breath in through both nostrils. Belly, chest, head. We hold. Pursing your lips. Inhale some more. Hold. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhaling in deeply, belly, chest, head, and we hold. Relax your shoulders. Inhale some more. Exhale, letting it go. Last one, best one. Deep breath in, belly, chest, head. We hold here, relaxing your face, relaxing your shoulders. Inhaling a little bit more, increasing that lung capacity. Exhale, release. Taking a few breaths on your own, maybe wiggling those shoulders, that head. Ooh. And then arriving back to the space. Oh, girl. Do you see why I love that practice?
Yeah, I do. I
It was good.
do.
What did you feel? What was going on when you were doing it? Considering you haven't done it
Um,
in years.
right. Just being aware of like the flow of air of one side versus the other,
Yeah.
and just being in more control of breathing, which, we do involuntarily, I guess, every day, but
Yeah.
something that I can actually like control. And it's just kind of very calming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. One of the jokes I used to say was the only time I knew it was one nostril versus the other was like seasonal allergies, when you have
Yeah.
to put a piece of tissue up there just to sit
Right,
so it doesn't drip
exactly.
down. And so it's really cool because it's a mindfulness element to it as well. It helps improve your focus, like left, right, left,
Mhm.
left, right. And then I saw at one point we both just kind of dropped them. We closed our eyes and we're like, okay, we have the flow and
Mhm.
finding that flow. And so I think that's almost, I know we're talking about the breath, but that is part of your body. That's what fuels your body. And so that's a way that you are reclaiming power over your body is by honoring your breath and even being able to see the left side hemisphere, the right side hemisphere of your body, and bringing it back to equilibrium.
Yep.
Yeah, girl.
Love it.
Okay. All
Love
right.
it.
Alternate
Love
nostrils.
it.
Let's go nostril breathing.
Okay.
All right, so let's start out with this conversation. Thanks for everybody for joining. We're talking about reclaiming power over your body and strengthening your body. We started with our alternate nostril breathing, which includes us strengthening and honoring and controlling our breath. Now, the other thing is let's talk about some wins just to kind of get us going. I'll start with you, Tanika. What is a win? Let's say a physical win from the past week or a recent win.
Okay, so I would say the one that stands out the most is that I am finally able to do not even just a body weight lunge, but a lunge with weight without any pain or discomfort. So Just as a backstory, I actually strained my adductor and a little bit of my hamstring doing solid core about 8 weeks ago.
Oh man.
About 8 weeks ago. And like it hurt to sit. I couldn't do body weight squat. Like I couldn't do much of anything. So finally being able to do that without pain or discomfort is literally a win.
Mhm.
And just knowing that I had to be patient with myself and couldn't just start like going right back in it. So, our body heals differently once we hit 30. So, you know, so
Who's
that is a
30? Look,
win.
is 30 in the room with us?
Okay, somewhere, but not over here.
Not
Not
over
over here.
here.
But that's my physical win for sure.
I love that, and congratulations, girl, because I know about recovering from injury. That should be a whole other live. Is
I'm
like
telling
that
you.
topic in itself, and the mental fortitude that it includes as well, because you just don't go straight into that. So kudos to you, and yeah, mental fortitude, because your mind, our bodies like is a big part of our job and our role and our
Mhm.
purpose and how we serve others. So yeah, I get it where
Mhm.
you're kind of back from that. Yeah. So when I love that for that.
Yay. What about you?
So one of my wins is that, oh my gosh, I love to travel. So I actually just came back from Ireland, which is random. I know, right? But it was just such a great, lovely time. I'm Irish now, like in my mind.
Okay, you brought a
Such
little
a
bit back.
lovely time, right? And one of the things that was very purposeful for me is to move my body, even through traveling. And that's a whole, again, another
Mhm.
talk. But
Mhm.
I went to a Pilates reformer class on purpose in Ireland. So I traveled
Mm.
out, took a Uber, and it's part of me dating myself, right? I took myself out on a date. And so
Yes.
I went out there, went to a Pilates reformer class. It was at Yoga Hub, which was really cool. And then I went to this like nice, it also was really cool. It was in an area that is called a wellness hub, like a wellness fitness hub. So they had
Oh.
like three gyms, a gym that was dedicated to women. They had healthy food options. It
Oh,
was really cool,
nice.
the concept, yeah.
Oh, I
And
love
so,
that.
got me a healthy food option, and it was just good to move my body, like, on purpose and go explore what Pilates or Pilates reformer is in a whole other country,
Mhm.
So I really
Mhm.
enjoyed that, and that was a win for me because
Yeah.
I'm trying new things, being curious.
I
Yay.
love that. I love that. I'm glad you had
Yeah.
that experience and that opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something that I do all the time. Like whenever I go to a new country, go figure out like what is the fitness scene in that country.
Mhm.
And I think that's
Mhm.
what's kind of cool to see because even when we talk about different cultures, right? What is the scene of fitness even within that culture as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I kind of broke this down into three things when I was thinking about what we should talk
Okay.
about. And
Okay.
so the first theme is listening to the body's story. And so our bodies hold experiences, whether we want to admit it or not. Good experiences, bad experiences, experiences in general. And so learning to listen to your body. I always like to say in my yoga classes, your body is always speaking to you,
Mhm.
like your body is always
Mhm.
speaking to you. Are you listening? So I feel like when we are listening to our bodies, that helps us understand exactly and pinpointing where stress may be coming from and like how we can develop that toolkit to get us through that area. So even when you were talking about your injury, listening to that body, right, made you realize, oh, something is off here. How
Yeah.
can I, could figure it out through whether it's like going to the doctor, whether it's doing that recovery stuff. And so, my first question is how do you recognize, or how do you recognize when stress shows up in your body physically? Like when you know that you're stressed, what does that look like physically in your body?
So, first of all, my stress shows up here, like
Ooh,
all up here. At an event that I went to yesterday, they had a masseuse, doing the chair massages, and literally
I
she
love
just put her hand on my back, and she's like, "Oh my god." I said, "Girl, tell me about it." But like, this is right. This is typically where, for me, it shows up here, tightness. Definitely in my hips. Uh,
mm,
for sure. I would say those are the 2, that show up physically, is
Yeah.
tighter upper back and just tight hips for me.
Yeah. This was cool. Because I first asked this question, I don't even remember when. It wasn't that long ago, maybe a year ago. And it made me actually sit and see. And so when I feel stressed, I'm like, where am I feeling it in my body? And the same thing. It's like
Mhm.
the shoulders in the back. And the way that I'm gonna vividly explain how I feel like someone just like kicked me as like right here in my back, and I fell
Mhm.
forward. So it's almost like like it's like a gasping, but you feel it
Yeah.
in here. My shoulders. I know I'm like this, but I feel like when I'm stressed, I walk around like
Right. And it's just
I
like,
walk around like this. Yeah. So and then definitely what when you had said hips is true. Like when I feel tense, like it's my hips. And I know you and I were talking about how I love this splits journey because it makes me
mhm,
breathe and it makes me release. Like I literally cannot be tense trying to do a split. And so I
for
realized that my
sure.
hips lock up as
Yep.
well. So even when you were aware, now that you are aware, you're like, oh, this shows up in my shoulders, the stress shows up in my hips. How do you build your self-care or your self-preservation of your own body toolkit from that? Like now that you know, okay, it's shoulders, it's this, what's next? Like what do you do next?
So I just spend more time on like rest and recovery
Mm,
for the physical portion. And I'm always like on the go as well. So I try to chill a
yeah,
little bit more. Um, and I used to think like, oh no, it's because I had a heavy back day or oh because I did legs and that, but realizing that that wasn't the cause.
right.
Um, caused me to spend more time in recovery. So that could look like massages. That could look like actually having a active rest day of where I'm stretching and doing some mobility, which
Yeah.
I have neglected a lot in the past.
Girl,
But like
come on.
that's a necessity now.
Yeah.
That's a necessity. And then just going along and just adjusting my workouts as needed. So if
Mhm.
I planned on weight training that day, and let's just say like my back is not like all of this is tight, and I supposedly had upper body, like giving myself grace to be able to pivot and adjust my workout for that day and how I move my body. So, I
Yeah.
still had the check box that I moved. Um, it's just being able to pivot and redirect my workout for that day.
Yeah. No, I love that. And when you said one of my favorite words, girl, massage. I
Yeah.
love me a good massage. I will book a massage and make it a non-negotiable. I usually have one once a month and it's very tailored, I think like 5 to 7 days before my cycle on purpose. So, because
Mm.
it has nothing. Because when I think of, like, with my cycle syncing or luteal phase brings more stress. Because
Yes.
sometimes it's not, things, it's like hormonally,
Yep.
like
Yep.
the all the things that are happening. And so I love massages too. But it's interesting. One of the things that you said made me think having people, because I always used to tell folks, even with running, be aware of what is pain versus discomfort versus
Mhm.
soreness
Mhm.
versus now stress in a
Right.
sense. Like there will be people who haven't worked out in a while. I know you worked out and that's why you think it is, but there's some folks who haven't worked out and they're like, why is, like my back hurts and stuff like that. And so really understanding where the bodily sensations, because it could be soreness,
Mhm.
could be, pain, could be discomfort.
Mhm.
And again, we must know our body. We have to know our bodies. And so I love the massage. I also love the resting. One of the things that I didn't mention, because I said physically, but this is physically, when stress enters my body, um, I started like having anxiety. Like my arms are shaking. I write all the time, so I can tell when my handwriting
Ooh.
doesn't become as clear, or I can feel within my nervous system like imbalance. Like it doesn't,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm in flight or fight mode, which is part of your physical body. And so even when it comes to that, I will take a bath I need if Dr. Teals is listening, I need a sponsorship, okay?
Okay. Yes.
I'm just shooting my shot there.
Tag it.
But
Okay.
taking a bath with Epsom salts, and we talk even when we talk about bodily recovery, like that
Mhm.
helps, like even the anxiety and like putting my body in a place of like not shaking or having that like heart, even when my heart beats so fast. Those are physical things too. And so,
That
but
too.
trying to tell the people out here, you have to be aware of that. Sometimes we're just going that we're not aware, and these things then become what is it like? Like it just compounds into
Compounds.
other things, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's where we'll
Mhm.
get a little bit through, which we'll talk a lot more in week 3, burnout,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll get into it now. So let me actually kind of oh no, it's the third section. Let me go to the
Yeah,
second
yeah, yeah.
section. Which is releasing stress through movement. It kind of goes back into like what we were just talking about here. So, hashtag movement is medicine. I'd rather be doing my medicine beforehand than having
Mhm.
to after because I missed the signs of my body,
Right.
like those vibes. And so one of the things I wrote is that when we're using movement as medicine, we're not just stretching our muscles. People always say that I love to stretch, but I'm like, it's bigger than that
For
because
sure.
it's going deep into the cells of your body and like
Mhm.
your cells and your nervous system, going back into that word. I love your nervous system. And so movement helps to awaken your body's wisdom. It really does help move around stagnant energy. And then you help you have more space for more breath. And that's why even how I talked about my splits journey, I'm like, I have to breathe. Like I could not be tense when I'm trying to do
Yeah, no.
a split.
Yeah.
So even releasing stress, like sometimes I'm like, I need to just go over there and just start stretching. Like, and that just helps me at least be more bendy instead of stiff and tough. And so, what
Mhm.
type of movements help you release stored stress that might be in your body?
Yeah, so if we're talking about stored stress, I would definitely say mobility and flexibility. See, when we were talking earlier about
Yeah.
how I was close to getting my splits, like
Yes.
I would literally I didn't even care if I had a weight training session, like I would stretch for at least 30 minutes. If it was like an
Ooh.
active rest, I would stretch for 45 to 60.
Yeah.
But um mobility, really getting into the hips. I remember there was one session that I did, listen to my R&B, kind of went through the whole thing, and like I felt so much lighter. And I don't know, like I also felt emotional because once I got home
Mm.
and I got in the shower, like I was crying and I did not know why. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is going on, girl? Why are you crying? Get yourself together. But but I do remember I was that was definitely a stressful time. But any kind of mainly mobility and stretching movements
Yeah.
um help me release that stored stress, and definitely mainly in my hips for sure.
For sure.
Or even just like upper body mobility
Yeah.
helps me with that.
Girl, yes, I'm telling you, I'm about to get off this live right now so I can go to stretch. I'm too tight.
Okay. Right, right.
I'm too tight. But for
Yes.
sure, I love that, and I love the mobility. And even as I evolve in my age, I'm trying to figure out different ways to
Okay.
get
I love
older.
it.
Evolve in my life journey of the age. I noticed that mobility and flexibility is great.
Mhm.
I tell people, I'm like, yes, go to the gym, work out and whatnot, but when it comes to being able to like quickly run for your life, or like like I want to be able
Yes.
to do those things. I have to be
Yes.
agile. There we go, agile. So I
There we
love that.
go.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So my next question is what movements, like what physical movements help you reclaim your power that makes you feel like I'm that girl?
Just living hefty-ish, okay? That's
Yes.
that's
Okay,
it,
wait,
right?
ish. What's the
Ish.
ish?
So specifically, I'll just say,
Yeah.
um, deadlifting,
Ooh.
deadlifting, heavy leg press, and hip
Okay.
press. Those are like my three power, like lift it heavy, girl. You
Yeah.
got this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
So
I
you
would
said,
say
wait, let me hold up, because I now because I need to go do this. Deadlift.
deadlift,
What was it?
heavy
Heavy press?
leg press, heavy leg press.
Heavy leg press. Is that the machine where you like your legs are
Mhm.
like this? Okay.
Mhm.
And then
And hip thrust.
oh, the whoo, like
Yes.
where you have, but
Yes, exactly.
but putting the bar. I see. I'm trying to be like I know what these things are, but people are like, what is what would this
Oh,
be?
yeah, right, right,
Putting the
right.
bar over your hips, right, and then
Mhm.
thrusting up.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. And you're like, yes. So what would that? How often do you do that?
So the hip thrust at least twice a week.
Okay.
Leg press once a week. Deadlifting once a week.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
dope. I'm trying to live
Yeah.
with you. Okay, I gotta get on
Yeah.
your workout plan for real. Because I
Yeah.
was looking at my legs, I was like, these things is looking like Chicken Little, okay?
Girl, stop it. Stop.
No, but I love
Stop.
those. And I so growing up, oh my goodness, I went to college in University of South Carolina where I ran track, and so we had a multi-million-dollar weight facility. And I
Mm.
always tell people like I love Olympic weightlifting. So my thing I'm gonna answer this question, but my thing
Yeah.
before, and sometimes I just don't do it as often, power cleans. Like I love hola, like a
Mm.
good power clean
Yeah.
was my jam. But I know how you feel where it's like a heavy lift, and then you're like, yes, I did that. For me, also, it's like the progression up to it.
Mhm.
I used to love Max Out Day because it was like energy. It's like, we're about to do this.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. Now in my age now, or myself, the season, let me say the season I'm in now,
Yeah.
when I feel like reclaiming my power is when I do my splits. So for everyone, I know you've heard this word 18 times already, but I'm on this splits journey. I've torn both of my ACLs, and so I feel like I was able to do a split before, but it was like one of those doo 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 and we out,
Yeah, yeah,
versus
yeah.
like sitting in it, breathing through it. Imagine if I had to do a photo shoot where they're like, we need 5 minutes of you in this split to get the right picture.
Mm.
That's where I'm working through and on. And so that's what actually helps me reclaim my power because I've never truly been able to do it. And so it's almost like who is this person that could do that's
Right.
crazy. I never would have thought this. And so it also helps me claim I would like to add in my feminine power for me because
Mm.
like before, like that was never a thing, but now it helps me breathe. I'm like, ooh, I feel more
Yes.
goddess. I don't know.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
doing
Splits are
that
powerful.
splits, but
Mhm.
then inverting splits is like powerful on steroids to me. Like it's like the inversion of it all and stuff. And so it's kind of cool through every season figuring out
Yeah.
what makes you or what helps you reclaim. But I know that when we live together, I'm gonna feel very powerful too as well. So I love
Absolutely.
getting yours. That's dope, girl. So
Yes.
you're over here lifting heavy-ish. I know you're not listening to no R&B music where you're lifting heavy. Or maybe.
So
What is on your
so
playlist?
so it's gonna depend on the day, and that's so funny because I'm actually about to do a post about what I actually
Okay.
listen to. So this is a good question. So yeah, if I'm doing like a heavy leg day, then I'm
Mhm.
listening to like Jeezy, Young
Mm.
Dolph, maybe DMX.
Okay.
If I'm just doing cardio,
Yeah.
soca, probably soca,
Ooh,
reggae.
that's the hips.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Now, if I am strength training, but I'm not lifting heavy, it's gonna be for more like mind muscle connection,
Mhm.
then honestly, yes, I am listening to R&B because
Okay.
it helps me really slow my reps down and be really
Ooh.
intentional about the movement. So I will listen to R&B. R&B is literally my favorite, favorite,
Yeah.
favorite. So that could be like Lucky Day, Alex
Yeah.
Isley,
Ooh.
her, Alina Baraz. So like I
Yes.
have a whole
Oh,
like 4 hour playlist
yeah.
of R&B music that I would,
Girl,
pick and
don't be
choose from.
gatekeeping this playlist,
All
okay?
right, I'm a drop
This
drop
is
a
the
little
second
bit.
time you
We gonna
mentioned
drop a
this
little.
playlist.
I know.
I
I'm
need
gonna
it.
drop it. We gonna
All
drop
right.
it for the people. We gonna drop it for the people.
We'll be here trying to be our most powerful selves.
Yes, I got you. I got
No,
you.
that's amazing. I love that, and I love the blend. I always tell people, what is it? Like, I'm a blend of everything. You might even get some
Mhm.
Coldplay over here,
Okay,
but it
yeah.
also just depends. And this just goes back into helping people literally design the life that you want, design what feels good to you in this moment. And that question, what do I need today? Right. And
Mhm.
so it may be this playlist or that. And I love music. Music ties, like, music is everything for me.
Mhm.
And so even when I think about my playlist, especially when it comes to like splits very specifically, it's really like, I would say R&B as well.
Yeah.
I have like this affirmative playlist, and it's this is hard. I should have prepared this question before the last.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it's like R&B ish, but affirmative, right? And
Mm.
so like I hear it, and it's like, okay. Also, I when I do splits, and this one is very curated to, these are songs that give me like a visceral reaction. Like I feel them in my body when, as soon, you probably have a song that when, as soon as you hear it, you're like, you feel it
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
body. And so this
yeah.
playlist is really good for that. And when it comes to like Ariel, and I'm over here trying to be
Mm.
like bow, 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 it's either Afro house, like there's a good Afro
Ooh,
house,
okay.
I'm a piano type vibe, or I'll go with I do have I'll drop this too. A Pilates playlist is called Bust Your Hips Open. And it's all, I know, it's
Okay.
all songs my millennials out there from like college. So it starts out with Sexy Girl Anthem. It has Roscoe Dash,
Okay. Oh Lord,
all the
yeah. We gotta
things.
see
Yeah.
that. We gotta hear that. We gotta hear
Yeah. So I'd be in my little reformer. These are my legs, by the way. I'd be like, dude, busting hips open. Come on. So, but again, see, this is what's fun, and this is what
Yeah.
makes us enjoy, and it makes you more motivated to do things. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I put that playlist on, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go work out.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
music is life, and I love that. Thanks for sharing those.
Literally.
I could talk music all day.
Love it.
Um,
Yes.
and I know that it helps. All right. So the
Mhm.
last kind of like theme that we have talking about with reclaiming your body, the power in your body. This word, and as we can see, has been, a little bit of a theme, the word burnout. So we've talked a little bit about burnout in our story, but now I kind of want to talk more about what burnout does to our bodies and how we recover from that. So, what I had wrote here is like, your burnout is your body's way of sounding an urgent alarm. It's a signal
Mm.
that the weight of stress has become too heavy to carry. Physically, for me, it shows up as deep exhaustion, that no rest seems to cure, tightness
Mhm.
in the back and shoulders, what we had talked about, super shallow breath, and nervous system stuck in survival mode and disassociated in a sense. So when I'm burnt out, my body's natural rhythms are disrupted AF. Sorry for cussing, but
Okay.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leaving me disconnected not only from my body, but also my creativity, because this is all part of your body as the vessel to do these things. My creativity, my power, my wisdom, my joy. Like I can't even be joyous in my body. And I literally wrote, woo, Jesus. So, again, for those that are in burnout or maybe experiencing burnout, but again, we have to be aware of what that feels like in our bodies, then
Mhm.
that's your signal to slow down. Listening deeply into yourself. And then this is why we're here, reclaiming that power back into your body with urgency, beautiful urgency. Because again, I've had moments where I've been disassociated for longer periods of time instead
Mhm.
of having urgency to, get back into my body. So I know you've experienced burnout. We had talked about that a little bit,
Yeah.
but what effect did burnout have on your physical body? and then kind of just like tell us what you did physically also to get out of that space.
Oh boy. So, yeah, a lot of the things that you said. So, like, even just like my workouts, like, the strength wasn't there. So, I was also kind of like just going through the motions with my
Mm,
workout, not really like being there and doing intentional things. I was just there just to be there and moving just
yeah,
to say that I went. But really just going through the motions. And I remember a couple years ago when I finally took my week and a half off of work, which I typically do at the end of every year, I didn't implement more breaks leading up to that point. So by the time it came for me to have my vacation, like I spent
yeah.
a week recouping. So I
Ah,
didn't even get to like really enjoy it. So like you said, there's really no amount of rest that could help it. Like I was
yeah,
tired every single day for a week and I didn't really get to even enjoy my break before I had to go right back.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, just the over amount of exhaustion um, for me. Um, Headaches. I had some headaches as
Mm,
well. Um, that did show up. And then just kind of like you said, just being disassociated. So it's just like
mm.
I was at work training clients, but I was just like, I was there, but not like there.
There, yeah.
And when I had to go
Get in
back,
there.
right, right.
Yeah.
And then even when I had to go back, I'm usually like excited,
Yeah,
re-energized to go back. I was just like, oh my God, like I felt like I didn't even have a break and I had a whole like week and a half.
yeah,
Um, so, just to kind of help in those situations is just basically managing the stress as I have it, or even just implementing more. I know we're going to talk about it, but more moments of pausing, more
yeah,
breaks, being okay with taking mental health days and calling out because I would always like show up no
yeah,
matter what. I would show up because I would hate to cancel a session or I would hate to have to reschedule because I wanted to
yeah,
always be there. Um so yeah, just making sure that I am taking more of a pause
yeah,
and being aware of the stress before the unmanaged stress turns into the burnout.
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, and that's real. And this is like an intro conversation, but we can go in
Yeah.
deeper with when people aren't or when they don't recognize this and it becomes a chronic burnout, like
Mhm.
years of dissociative burnout. That's where all of these like heart diseases, and because it affects your heart and
Mhm.
all the things. And it saddens me because I see people who are in that space. They've just been in this cycle. They don't know they're burnt out because they got to go to work, they got to do
Yep.
this, they got to do that, but they're also disassociated with their body, or they're using vices that doesn't allow them to feel their body
Mhm.
fully because it's covering it up. You feel me?
Mhm. I
Yeah.
feel you.
Yeah. So,
I feel you.
yeah, burnout definitely has an extreme. It's conscious things or like things that we can see, and then also subconscious elements that's rooted deep in your body when it comes to burnout. So I think it's just so important to recognize it, which I love that you did. And so daily practice that helps you stay anchored. Because when we think about burnout, yes, we may get there, or you watching may be there. And so what
Mhm.
tools do we have that? But then we also want to think about preventative things or things that we can integrate in to prevent that burnout. And physically, what are some of those things that you do to keep you anchored?
So first and foremost, I would say the top thing is no matter what, so even if I don't make it to the gym or if I don't, do a workout, I manage to walk
Ooh,
some way, shape, or just walking. And
walk.
if I can, and
Yeah.
if I can, first thing in the morning, sun is out because now, like, you're
Mm,
walking to, release those happy hormones. You're getting the sun, you're
mm,
getting the vitamin D, like all the things. Like, even just doing that for 10 minutes, going for a quick 10-minute walk,
Yeah.
can really reset your mood for the
Yeah.
day. So even something as simple as that. So even if I have a busy day, I find some way to just walk and literally just take a break from everything else. So just walking
Yeah.
and moving my body
I
would
love
be,
that.
yeah, just
And
that.
you're in nature, like, especially
Yeah.
because what you describe as even walking outside, like you're in nature. And so I know nature heals.
Yeah.
Who nature can heal. That you intentionally walk. And so even when I think about like daily things, I'm about to go back to my favorite word, stretching.
Yes.
I just bought a new stretch band as well. Like I just even if it's
Oh.
just like sitting to just touch your toes left, right, side to side, like
Mhm.
it's just getting some movement, which I love the walking element as well. And this is us just trying to tell y'all like it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be because I get it. Some people when we talk about gyms, I work at a gym. You do too. We just know gyms, but the thing that could be a barrier is money or like time. And when we think
Mhm.
of barriers to entry into like this, reclaiming power, we want to even break it down to those daily or those small things. And so walking, stretching is something that's beautiful. And so and we talked a little bit about this before, but even going back into the body, how do you stay consistent, girl? I can walk on Mondays, but Tuesday through Thursday, oh my gosh, it's too busy. Like I hear this all the time. So how can you stay consistent in that?
Um, so one, definitely not relying on motivation. I know we definitely talked about that.
Yeah,
Like motivation is fleeting, it's the flaky best friend. But I also think that from my experience with competing and especially being an athlete, like we've learned
yeah,
to build discipline and do the
yeah,
things that we have to do. But now that I'm like not competing
yeah.
for, a show or anything like that, like I still have those same principles.
Mm,
So I still have a goal of staying healthy, staying like agile, like you said,
yeah,
but ultimately just habit stacking.
yeah,
So if there's something that I do every single day, um, what activity can I stack it with? So like my
yeah,
my morning walks, you
yeah.
know, I have a cup of coffee every
Yay.
day, right?
Yeah,
So um stacking my walks with my coffee, or I'm eating breakfast every day, like I'm not skipping no
yeah.
meals, honey, you right?
I
So
love
even if
that.
it's just walking right after that, so just figuring out a way to um stack that habit with something that I'm
Yeah.
already doing consistently. So now I'm doing two things consistently
Yeah.
to start building that habit.
It's a little 2 for 1.
Yeah, exactly. A twofer. I love me a twofer.
Everybody loves a buy one, get one, okay?
Okay.
Including our bodies. Uh,
Yes.
I love that, and I love habit stacking. We talked a little bit about that. I definitely habit stack, and I try to tell people that. But I also tell people I'm not good at multitasking, and when I habit stack, it's because I've ritualized it. It's not
Mhm.
because I have to be like this person that checks off all this list. It's like, no, actually, I love my morning brushing my teeth to a meditation. Like actually enjoy that experience. And so even
Yeah.
ritualizing those things that you're doing creates an enjoyable experience because I think that the thing that helps when motivation disappears is like base foundation. I enjoy those who are brand new in this journey. You may not enjoy like walking, or something like that. But how can we make it enjoyable experience for
Enjoyable.
you?
That's
And
true.
so even
That's
prompts,
good.
like one of the things with walking, sometimes is like identify all the things that are yellow. And maybe it's taking a picture of those things. And I don't
Mm.
know, like just and creating an art piece from that. I don't
I love
know.
that.
Yeah,
No, that's really
girl.
good. I love that. I love
We can
that.
brainstorm all these things. Trust me.
Okay.
Okay. But no, but that's how it should be, and that's how I live my life. Even going back to my win, I was like, no, I wanna work out. I know traveling and working out and fitness can be very hard, but like, how
Mhm.
can you make it an enjoyable experience? Like, oh, I've been a Pilates class in 16 countries. Like, that's kind of dope, instead of being like, oh, I have to go work out.
For sure.
No, enjoy
For
it.
sure. For
So
sure.
I love that. And those are all like the like high level questions I have about this, but I kind of just want to ask you another a little road question is what is your favorite thing about your body? What do you love most about your body?
Um, let's say my body's ability to heal and adapt because of how I take care of it.
Yeah.
Um, just, like I said about the strain, like my
Mhm.
body did do an amazing job of like recovering because of how I have been taking care of it, how I have like fed it and nourished it. So just my body's ability to change, adapt, and heal when I
Yeah.
needed to.
I love that. Did you know I was gonna say that?
No, did you really? Were you really?
No, yeah, like I always because and the reason why I asked that is because I always say in my class, if you take a yoga class with me, your body is brilliant. That is like literally my biggest affirmation. Your body is brilliant. Your body can heal itself. Your body speaks to you like all this your vessel. Like it's even now, like our heart, I always this is one of my jokes, like your heart didn't ask for PTO one day, like it showed up.
Right.
Okay. Your heartbeat was there before you knew you existed. Like your breath is always here. Like
Mhm.
when you really break it down to how dope your body is, like we have over 3 trillion cells in our body. Like that's crazy to me. And so I just love that the brilliance of our bodies, base foundation, even I understand, I don't want to discount people who are in pain and whatnot, but coming from the 2 ACL surgeries, and that's my testimony, and the fact that, girl, we could run a foot race right now, and I'm like,
Okay. Let's see if she comes back. You there? Okay. Okay, there we
"Oh,
go.
I'm
Alright, there
here.
we go.
Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, cool." Or the fact that, like, I can do splits now, or I'm doing a totally different modality,
Mhm.
and I didn't allow even mentally allow that to be like, "Oh, well, I can't, everyone, oh, people come to my class, oh, I got a bad knee. I can't do all that yoga stuff. I can't do all that stretching stuff. Got a bad
That's
knee.
how they be sounding.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
I've had 2 knee surgeries. Let me know, like, what is it that you need help with? I can help you. And they look at me, and all my, "Whoa,"
Yeah.
and they're like, what? Like they always think I'm lying. And I'm just like, I'm telling you, your body can heal itself. They used to call me Adrian Peterson. Okay. So I love that answer, and I love that we love our bodies for the way that it works for us, not against
Mhm.
us. And I
Mhm.
want people to love on and know that too.
Yeah,
Oh,
girl. Because when you take care of your body, it will take care of you, and let me tell you, like, I'll just say one of my older clients had experienced, like, a fall and there had to be
mhm.
do surgery and X, Y, and Z. And she's like in her 70s, she's diabetic, like she has a cane, like all the things. But like her body was able to bounce back very quickly just because of all the
Yeah.
things that she was doing leading up to there. She was still, working out, exercising,
Aw.
eating right. So literally the body has the power to heal if you take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And we didn't even touch on like
Nutrition
nutrition
yet. Yeah.
wise. But I know you know a lot about that, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some tips and tricks. I know that you have resources, that we're gonna put down here about that. So I know people will probably have some follow-up questions. We're talking about movement mainly,
Hmm.
but I know that you guys probably have some follow-up questions about how do you take care of your body fully. But I love that you mentioned even with aging, because that's a whole other lot. We got a couple
Listen,
lives that we need to
okay, that
do.
is a whole different
Other
life.
live because I think my algorithm now has like over 70 and working out now. So I'm like, oh, this is cool because it pops up. But I don't fear aging. I feel like my body gets better with time.
Mhm.
And that's because of being self aware and wanting to take care of it. and nurture it. It's the same thing as a baby. We nurture, we care for a child when we have it. I feel like that for my body, like it's always growing. I'm always having to self nurture as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Girl, you are the
You
bomb.com.
are the
And so
bomb.com.
listen, your body is the bomb.
Okay. Okay.
All
Yes.
the things. So ultimately, and we talked about this word healing. Healing is just beautiful, and it begins with, I say, kindness to yourself and self-awareness and compassion, approaching your body with grace and understanding what it needs. Going back to that question,
Mhm.
what it needs, not only to our bodies but our minds, because our bodies and our minds, I feel like, are Irish twins. Look, I just came from Ireland, so
You're
I got
right.
little puns.
Okay.
But they are your mind, your body listens to your mind, your registers, vice versa. I didn't say it right, but you get my
I got
vibes,
you.
okay? And also when we think about stress is stored in our bodies. So we must be very vigilant about removing and releasing stress out of our bodies through moving our body and being intentional there.
Mhm.
Because when it starts to settle, that's when diseases and also just like injuries happen, when we
Yeah.
really like settle into it without being bendy or with the flow of our bodies. So, um, let's talk about our intention for the week. All right, because this week is about our bodies.
Mhm.
So, what is your intention, Tanika? And we're all like, I'll set my intention, and we encourage you in the audience to also set your intention for the week for your body. But let's start out with you, Tanika.
My intention, um, because I got away from it, we gonna be honest, is
Okay.
to do daily mobility.
Mm,
Daily mobility. Because I've been sitting more lately, and I am starting to feel that,
mm.
um, especially in like my back and hips. So mobility daily, even if it's just 10 minutes of mobility, focus on my hips and my back.
Yeah.
Mm,
Ah, I love that.
yeah.
My okay, mobility. I'm about to be mobile with you. Okay.
Yay!
My
Together.
intention for my body this week is to be an active listener of my body.
Mm,
Again, just coming back from travel and going into a really big week for myself. I'm performing. Let me say, wait, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes this week. And so
whew.
I trust that my body's going to do all the beautiful things, but
Mhm.
I don't want to just, me and my body, we're coworkers. I don't want to just be like here
Right.
without checking in and listening in between. And so that even means like I need to go get my Epsom salts, just making sure it's in my house, right? So I can listen to it with recovering and just in silence as well. And so I think that's a big
Oh.
part of reclaiming power over your body is being an active listener. So that's going to be my intention this
Oh,
week.
I love that. That's so good,
Yeah,
being an active listener of your body. Oh, girl. I hope they are picking
girl.
up what you're putting down, because that was good.
Boom.
That was
Look,
good.
here it is. Catch
Right.
it.
Got it. Put it in my pocket for later.
Put it in my pocket. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, we're about to land this plane here. I think this is all good. I always love to have conversations and then allow ourselves to like digest because it will build on to the next one.
Mhm.
So, as always, we got a little bit of homework. We love homework. So, homework for the week. I'll start out. So, as always, doing a little daily meditation. When we talk about listening to your body, I encourage you to listen to a body scan. So, when I do a meditative body scan, it's usually I start from the crown all the way to your feet, and it allows you to sit into yourself, right? Breathing on purpose and checking in with all systems in your body. So, my homework for you is to do a meditative body scan, and I'm going to give you the link to one of my favorite ones. And then on top of that, boom, a yoga session. Move your body in a fun way. I have an option for a chair yoga session because I get
Mm.
it. maybe you want to start somewhere small. I'll also give an option for those who just want to go for the jugular. Okay. And so being able to do more movements. And then, as always, you can find me in person, but I'll link some of that below where you want to find me. And I will say, start with that, breathe on purpose, on purpose. And then, Tanika, what homework do you have?
So we talked about moving the body. I want you to create a small list, like a starter list of, let's
Mhm.
start with 5 to 10 different songs that make you feel good when you move your body. Because I also want you to,
Yes.
while I'm going to give you some jewels in the description with a playlist, I also want you to start creating a list of songs that make you
Yeah,
feel good and make you want to move. So that way you
I
can
love
have a
that.
list of things to listen to make it more enjoyable to also move your
Yeah.
body. So that's going to be my homework, is create that list. Start creating your
Okay.
your your moving your moving playlist. So whether it's high
Yeah.
intensity or whether it's, stretching, getting into your splits.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll also have a movement segment for you guys this week, but this one's going to be more body weight, higher
Mm,
intensity, get the body moving, blood flowing.
love that.
So yeah, that's gonna be available this week, and then upcoming an upcoming event. You'll find the details in the descriptions as
Yes.
well.
I love that. And I missed one thing because it was such a long time ago, but it set up, this was a beautiful live. Alternate nostril breathing. I'll link
Yes.
another meditation. So in case y'all want to just keep practicing that, because that was a good focus element. And as always, share this with someone. Like,
Mhm.
if you even had a little bit of a crack of a smile, okay, and I know you did, share it with someone, allow them to just take what they need for the moment. I know sometimes I won't be like, this might be too much. No, just give someone
Mhm.
the resources and then allow them to take it. But until then, do your homework. And these are all good things. Homework is just helping you set up what you like. Maybe you're like, I don't like that nostril breathing. Okay, go back to box,
Yeah,
baby.
that's it.
Find what you like. And so I love that. I love that homework. Thanks so much, Tanika. Is there
Yes.
anything else, anything that's on your heart or mind before we get off of this live or this call here?
Nothing. Just like I said, week 1,
Yeah.
eh, take one nugget a week. One nugget a week, an action item. We're gonna be here. So once you put that
Yeah.
thing into play and it's locked in, come back to see
Yeah.
what else you can implement. So we gave you a lot of different gems.
Yeah.
Just grab one of them and start like
Just
today,
hold it, hold
right?
it, throw it, throw it, throw it,
Uh,
throw it. Got it. Sorry.
We're so silly.
I know. I love that one thing. And also just enjoy your body. Enjoy your body because it's what's taking you through. So
Mhm.
maybe you look at yourself in the mirror and just tell you what's one thing you like,
Yeah.
one thing you like.
Yeah.
I like my long legs, maybe I put on some
Yes.
heels.
There you go.
I was like, my biceps looking
I
kind of
know,
strong
I
in this
know,
thing.
girl. I know. I've been peeping in the whole time. Every time you did something with your arms, I'm like, oh, okay. Okay,
I'm like,
okay.
okay.
Right.
But I love doing that, even that exercise, because your body is listening,
Mhm.
right? So that's
Mhm.
cool. All right, girly. Well, let me talk about what we have coming up next. Oh, this one's good. And you're hosting. And so I'm excited about
Yeah.
that. Nourishing the soul, burnout boundaries, and the power of pause. That's going to be good. And so that's coming up for our next episode. But we appreciate you for being here today, learning about the body, loving on your body, and just like hearing about ways in which we move stress out of our bodies and that we take care of our bodies as well. So
Yes.
that's all we have for you for episode 2. Do your homework, enjoy your time, and we love you if you haven't heard it today, but your
Yes.
body loves you more.
Yes.
All right. Yay. All right. Bye, Tanika.
Bye,
Have a great
girl. You
day. All right.
too.
Bye.